Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. If you love pistachios, today's recipe is for you. We are going to be making a quick and easy pistachio dessert bread. Not only does this recipe come together in no time, but this bread is so incredibly delicious, moist and dotted with tons of pistachios. It is the perfect treat to enjoy with your morning coffee or tea. We're going to start by making a super simple batter with sour cream, eggs, butter, sugar, vanilla. Fold in the dry ingredients. I like to add just a touch of ground cardamom. This warming spice really complements the pistachios. We'll fold in the nuts last and then into the oven. This recipe makes for 2 loaves because I feel like one just disappears way too quickly. Don't forget to head on down into this video description box for the recipe link. I'm going to have all the details up on my website, including metric measurements. And now let's make some delicious pistachio bread. First things first, you want to have the oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll need 2 8 or 9 inch loaf pans. These are actually 8.5 inches. And we're going to spray the inside with a baking spray, and then we're going to line the inside also with a little parchment paper, and this just helps the bread lift right out after it's done baking. Let's start with our wet ingredients. We'll need 4 large eggs. Drop the eggs into a large mixing bowl. Add in 1 cup of sour cream or Greek yogurt, 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar, 1 cup of melted unsalted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 cup of whole milk, and 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then we'll grab a whisk and mix this all together until the eggs are well beaten. Next, let's put together our dry ingredients. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom. Mix this all together. And we'll use a fine mesh sifter to add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. You always want to do this to ensure you don't end up with any clumps of flour or baking soda or baking powder. And I love that warming aroma of the ground cardamom. It pairs so nicely with pistachios. Whisk in the flour just until the batter is nice and smooth and no more clumps remain. And last, we'll need 1.5 cups of diced or ground pistachios. I just pulse these through my food processor, so I have some larger pieces and I also have some more finely ground pieces in here as well. Drop those in and use a spatula to mix everything together. You want to fold in the pistachios so they're well distributed throughout the batter. Let's fill up these loaf pans with our pistachio batter. Spread this batter evenly to the edges. And then add a sprinkling of more diced pistachios on top. And our pistachio bread is ready for the oven. It's going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Once it's done baking, let it cool in the pan for about 5 minutes and then use these little parchment paper tabs to lift the bread out onto a wire rack to cool completely. I like to let these cool for about 30 to 45 minutes before slicing and enjoying with a cup of coffee. Once the bread has cooled, it's time to slice in and take a peek on the inside. Check out all those gorgeous pistachios on the inside. And that's it for my easy pistachio bread recipe. This smells so good when it's in the oven. Nothing beats the aroma of something sweet and delicious baking. Don't forget to head on down into the video description box for the recipe link. I'll have all the details up on my website, including this recipe with metric measurements. And now let's give our pistachio bread a try. And I love to enjoy this while it's still warm, a little bit of coffee on the side. That's one thing I'm missing. I need to make myself a fresh batch of coffee. And this looks so good. The bread is so moist and tender. Tons and tons of pistachios on the inside. This is my kind of coffee treat. This bread is so simple, delicious, not too sweet. I love having tons and tons of pistachio flavor and texture in every single bite. This bread is simple and simply divine. This one slice is already almost gone. I am so glad that this recipe makes for 2 loaves. You can have one right away and then you could save one for later. But once the bread has cooled down, just wrap it really well with plastic wrap and keep it at room temperature for up to 3 days, or you could also store it in the freezer or the fridge for longer. Oh, this is so good. I love having that slight touch of cardamom in here as well. It is so incredibly delicious. Can't wait for you to try this super simple and easy recipe at home. Thank you so much for watching my latest video, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.